All right, guys, welcome back to the Bears Forever Plays YouTube channel. Today is Friday. It's Halloween midday. This video is for the Saturday games, which are on November 1st. I'm going to drop this at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Halloween, though. I think what I'm going to start doing is for games that I'm not overly confident about, but I just want to give my opinion. I think I'm just going to make those into shorts, and then for the videos that I'm going to count for actual plays that I'm going to play, I'll make a video for them. I think that's the simplest way to do it. That way I don't miss any days, and maybe you get it, the more opinions you get, the better. That's always what I've said. Everybody's got a different opinion. Maybe someone points out something that someone else didn't say, and it gives you the edge. But any way that you can get an advantage in sports betting, you should definitely do it. But let's get into our plays for Saturday. Two massive games. This was the this was the week that it was like 3 months ago. They said, "Hey, if you're doing anything November 2nd, you might want to cancel your plans and reschedule." Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here it is. Just remember, if your friends ask you to do anything on November 1st other than watch college football, they're not really your friends. In the tweet, Penn State, Ohio State, 3-2. Miami, SMU, 10-18. Arizona State, Iowa State, 11-23. South Carolina against Ole Miss, 13-21. Texas Tech versus Kansas State, 25-17. Oklahoma and Tennessee, 18-24. Georgia, Florida, 6-15. South Carolina's out. Florida's out. Kansas State's out. Penn State's obviously out. Iowa State's out. SMU's out. I'm missing one. Doesn't matter. That was what's supposed to be November 1st, and we still have two really good games. So let's talk about them. Oklahoma going up against Tennessee is going to be the first game. Oklahoma, they're very strange. They're coming off a loss. They've lost 2 of the last 3. The defense was non-existent against Ole Miss. Trinidad did whatever he wanted in that game. They ran the ball, they threw the ball, they went for it on 4th down, they were converting in the red zone. Oklahoma should be ashamed of that performance. And John Mateer did not play well. The Ole Miss defense was okay. They weren't great, but John Mateer could have played better. The Oklahoma offense could have played a lot better. They got a garbage touchdown late in the 4th quarter. The game really wasn't close. I think they had a Hail Mary opportunity, and they just ran out of bounds, I want to say. That could have been 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Ole Miss kind of kicked the shit out of Oklahoma, if we're going to be honest. Tennessee coming off a win against Kentucky. They're putting up some historically bad numbers for the University of Tennessee on the defensive side of the ball. Tennessee this season, their defensive stats, 32.9 points per game. That's 110th in the nation. They're giving up 428 yards per game. It's 109th in the nation. Opponent, that doesn't really matter. Yards per play, 5.4. That's a big thing. They're very bad. The Tennessee defense has been very bad this season. They're giving up 30-plus points almost every single game. Points, though, on the offensive side have been very good. They're top 5 in a lot of major categories, including points per game of 41.9 points per game. So we're going to go with the over 55.5 in this one. I do think Tennessee has the advantage in this one as well, minus the 3. And this is a hand up. This is a hand up video. Last week I said Oklahoma defense was elite. They may still be, but from what I saw against Ole Miss, they may have just not played a good quarterback and may have just not played a good offensive team. Tennessee's a great offensive team. Bishop on the ground, Joey Aguilar with his legs through the air, whatever you want to do it for Tennessee. Feels like they put up almost 50 points every game. The defense may not be great of Oklahoma. I know the defense is not great for Tennessee. I like the over. Give me the over 55 points for this matchup. For the next game, the game that I'll definitely be also YouTube TV out with ESPN and Disney. What a bummer. What an absolute bummer. And everybody's like, oh, YouTube TV, how could you do this? They're working together, right? They're working together because ESPN's coming out with a new app. Like, hey, you get all of these sports channels for $30. All you got to do is sign up right now because we couldn't reach a deal for YouTube TV. Everybody's going to cancel YouTube TV. Well, most people are going to cancel YouTube TV. They're going to pay the $30 for the ESPN app. Then that $30 next season is going to be $90 a month or $120 a month. The people who kept cable have done a tremendous job. They are from the future. The cable people are the elite people. Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, YouTube TV, The list goes on and on and on. We're paying $200 plus a month to watch TV. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. Vanderbilt -3 going up against Texas. I am firm on Texas still not being very good. The defense has been okay. The special teams have been great for Texas, but offensively, they just don't look good. They got to win last week because, once again, the special teams and the defense in that fourth quarter going up against Mississippi State were fantastic. Yes, Arch Manning had a couple good drives going up against Mississippi State, had a couple long shots that Arch Manning completed. But what I see from Arch Manning is not an elite quarterback. I see a young kid who's starting to learn how to play college football. And I will say this about Arch Manning. I've been really negative on him even from the week number one. He is getting better. He's getting better and better, I think, each week. Going up against Diego Pavia is not fair. This is one of the best players in college football. He is a college football legend. I think he's going to be a college football legend up there with, I know nobody can pass Tim Tebow or probably even Johnny Manziel, but Diego Pavia is right up there. He is one of the best college football players we have ever seen. It might not translate to the NFL, much like Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow didn't, but Diego Pavia is a leader. He's gritty, and he's going to get this win for Vanderbilt. This is going to be the biggest win for Vanderbilt, -3 on the road against Texas, because not only do they win, probably get themselves a bid for the college football playoffs, and they probably will be playing for an SEC title if A&M or Georgia slip up. So I like Vanderbilt here -3. I think the difference in this one is going to be Diego Pavia. Like I said, some players are legends, and I think Diego Pavia is a legend. He practices the victory formation every game before every game. And besides the Alabama game, that's their only loss in the season, I haven't seen anything wrong with Vanderbilt. The defense is great. The coaching is great. They've got great quarterback play and a leader. Not saying that Arch Manning can't be a leader, but right now, Arch Manning, he's still learning. He's still trying to get into the groove of things. And I will say, and like I said, I do think he's getting better. But Diego Pavia, far superior. Far superior. I'm going to take him -3 and the Vanderbilt team. Let's talk about all the games. Vanderbilt, Texas, just talked about. Vanderbilt -3. Navy, North Texas. North Texas, they try to put up 60 points a game by themselves. Usually, Navy's been a high-scoring team this year. Give me the over 65.5. Georgia, Florida. I'm taking Florida plus 7.5. I still don't think Georgia's that good. I know it's crazy to say, but I just the Georgia defense is they're not good. And Georgia offensively, they struggle at times. Give me Florida plus 7.5. I think that's a competitive game. I think Florida can win that game, which would really help Vanderbilt in the SEC. ECU and Temple, give me the over 57.5. Two teams that like to score, two defenses that have been okay this year, but I think in this game, a lot of points to be scored in that one. Mississippi State against Arkansas, there is no way in hell that Arkansas should be -4.5 points. That there is just no way that you can give Arkansas. They're horrible. Mississippi State's got to get off the mat. They've had back to back maybe, just heartbreaking losses. But this is a very good Mississippi State team. They're well coached. They're finally a program that if you're a Mississippi State fan, you can hang your hat on them. Like they're good. They're a good team. They're just collapsing in the fourth quarter. But Arkansas is not a good team. They're not. Mississippi State plus 4.5. That could be a lock. K-State, I'm going to take them plus 7.5 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the way better team. But Kansas State, remember when in the start of the season, Kansas State was a top 25 team, and everybody's like, yeah, Kansas State probably winner up there for the winner of the Big 12. They're starting to play like the winner of the Big 12. You know, they had 3 or 4 games there where they did not look good, but they are playing some really good football. Against Kansas last week, Kansas State fumbles the opening kickoff. KU goes up 7-0 in a blink of an eye in 15 seconds. Kansas is up 7-0. Kansas State, after that, dominates them like 42-10. So I think Kansas State playing really good football. Give me them plus 7.5. Where are we at? USC and Nebraska. Nebraska's not a good team. Matt Rule should be fired. And I also don't know if Dylan Raiola is a good player. Feels like he's a little bit too scared to throw the ball down the field. Looks like Patrick Mahomes, dresses like Patrick Mahomes. He has some plays like Patrick Mahomes, the weird plays, but he's not like Patrick Mahomes in any way with consistency in 250 to 300-yard games and 4 touchdowns. I have yet to see that out of him. So give me USC -4.5, Michigan State and Minnesota. This is a tricky one, and I'll talk about it with the player prop. But for right now, we're going to take Minnesota -3.5. Central Michigan and Western Michigan. Western Michigan needs this game. They are one of the better teams in the MAC. I'm going to take them -5.5. They just lost to Miami, Ohio, my team. So Western's a good team. They were up against Miami, Ohio in the fourth quarter, and Miami, Ohio just found a way to win that game. Western's a good team. They'll figure it out here. They're going to be at home. I know it's a rivalry game, but -5.5 for them. Oklahoma, Tennessee, already talked about the over. Georgia Tech and NC State. You know, Tech keeps slipping up a little bit, and they keep finding ways to win in the fourth quarter. That's just a team of destiny, in my opinion. Give me Georgia Tech -5.5. Player props for tomorrow. Ole Miss against South Carolina. I have numbers on Ole Miss for the defensive side. Give me 1 second. Lenore Sellers over the 30. Is it 30 and a half? Yeah, I think it's 30 and a half rushing yards for him. South Carolina offensive line this season has been really, really bad, but Mississippi State this season, they're 118th in the front seven. They're 119th in run rate and 130th in in line yards from the line of scrimmage. Also 131st in yards per rush. So this feels like the time Lenore Sellers needs to get going. He really hasn't had that great of a season. He was talked about as a potential Heisman, one of the better players in college football in week one. This is a game Ole Miss probably not going to get a ton of pressure. If he gets sacked, he's been sacked a lot this year. I don't see a lot of sacks in this game, which would be the negative rushing yards, which I don't want. I think he uses his feet a lot in this game. South Carolina needs to win basically like they need air. So hopefully South Carolina hangs in here with Ole Miss. But I'm going to take the over 30.5 rushing yards. I think that's a really good play there. Going to go Diego Pavia anytime touchdown. I just think it honestly might happen on the first drive. Diego Pavia runs like Cam Scadaboo, and I've said that before. They're basically the same person. Love Diego Pavia. Give me the anytime touchdown plus 130. And then this one's the tough one. Darius Taylor over the total rushing yards going up against Michigan State. If you were able to watch the Michigan State-Michigan game in the first half and you turn the game off, you'd be like, damn, Michigan State might be okay. Michigan not that good. If you watch the game in the second half, you'd see, oh, we figured out that we can just hand the ball off and get 250 yards like it's nothing. Michigan in the second half ran the ball almost every play, and Michigan State had no answer. I want to say they gave up 300 plus rushing yards in that game. And Haynes, is it Hayes? I think it's Hayes. I want to say he had 200 plus rushing yards. It felt like every single time I looked up, it was a 20-yard gash, 20-yard gash, 20-yard gash, 50-yard gash. Like Michigan State could not stop the run. If you watched Minnesota going up against Nebraska 2 weeks ago, Minnesota won that game 24-6. Darius Taylor had 150 plus yards on the ground, a couple touchdowns as well. Problem is that he's banged up. He has a hamstring injury. He played one play against the Hawkeyes, which is I feel like that's kind of why Iowa dominated that game. I know they probably would have won, but Minnesota would have been a lot better if Darius Taylor was in the lineup. He is questionable for this game. That's huge. If he does not play, I'm going to be off Minnesota minus 3.5. If he does play, I'm going to be on Minnesota minus 3.5, and I'm also going to take his over total rushing yards. I am reading right now, not being told. I don't have an insider. I'm reading right now. Out in the first play of the game against Iowa, he has dealt with many leg injuries in the past, also missing a couple games this season already with the same injury, but he is questionable with a right leg injury. I'm assuming it's hamstring. So if he does play, great. We're going to take him over the rushing yards. If he doesn't, and we'll take Minnesota minus 3.5. If he doesn't play, scratch them both. Guys, that's going to do it for this Saturday picks and props in college football, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.